Hey guys, welcome to yet another in the Meet My Reborn Baby series. Today we are talking all about Mr. Niko, so let's get started. Niko is the infamous Saskia sculpt by Bonnie Brown. He is a first edition, he has full limbs and weighs 6 pounds 1 ounce and was born on the 29th of August 2016, and he is the first baby in my collection to have non-Slumberland hair. But before I get into a bit about that, let's talk about the kit and then the painting process and stuff. So I actually didn't like this sculpt as a kid, and I know that it's going to cause some arguments with some people who absolutely loved this kit in kit form and then in every other form you can get it, but I didn't really see what the big deal about it was in the beginning. And then when I started to see all the prototypes coming through and it being painted and being brought to life, I could see more as to why people were really in love with it. And the actual story behind me getting this sculpt was that me and my best friend, we quite often rival over sculpts and stuff. We tend to have very opposite tastes overall, but sometimes we clash, and this came about with the Elise sculpt by Cassie Brace and also this sculpt, and she wanted both of them, but I was like, you know, you can only have one. So she ended up with the Elise sculpt, which suits her perfectly. That's Kian. If you haven't been following me, I'll leave a link to his introduction video below. But yeah, so she ended up with Kian, and I ended up getting this sculpt for my birthday from her, and I brought her the Marianne sculpt by Natalie Blick for her birthday. So that was kind of what came around as well. I was like, you know, you can't have Saskia if you're having Elise, so can you buy it for my birthday? And she was like, yeah, okay, that's fine, I don't care that much, and got it for me. So the whole plan was that he was actually supposed to be a girl. He was supposed to have the name that I have stored up forever, and it starts with O, and I will be announcing more about that soon. But yeah, didn't work out. He wasn't a girl in the end. He became all boy as soon as I started painting him, and that is the way it stayed. So as for painting him, there wasn't really much that I could argue about. I absolutely love how he's turned out. I really liked how mottled he is and just everything about him. However, when it came to sealing him, his face, I don't know what I did wrong, but he cracked a couple of times. It really peeved me off to the point where I was getting really frustrated with him. So every time, especially when I was putting his hair in or his eyes, he would crack, and so I had to fix that several times over, and I'm now at a level where I fixed that enough. And that is probably why this baby is the most bonded baby in my current collection. Like last year, Charlie was my most bonded baby because she had the most flaws. I think that's kind of how Niko has become the most bonded baby. I spend a lot of time with him, even though he caused me so much misery, and yeah, I was just really frustrated with him when I was painting and sealing him. But like I said, he is the first baby without Slumberland here in my collection. From here out, they all don't have Slumberland, I don't think. Oh no, sorry, Rue does. But yeah, so he has Susan Nagel here, which is in light golden brown. It's more blonde, but I absolutely adore it on him, and I love how his hair just curls up like that. It's so cute. So yeah, that's Niko in a nutshell as to his painting and stuff. He also had eyes that I brought for him that were glass eyes, but I felt like the pupil and the iris was just way too large for his eye socket, so he went back to the Bountiful Baby newborn grey. Yeah, newborn grey eyes, and that's what he has in now, obviously. And they look more blue than anything. I absolutely love this shade. I have blue-grey eyes, so it kind of works really well. A lot of us say that, my friends and stuff, say that he is a mixture of myself and just another really special person in my life, so I really like that, and I think he's really, really sweet, and I'm really bonded to him because of many reasons, but that is one of them as well. And I treat him probably the closest to as being my child. I know that sounds ridiculous because he is a doll, and I'm well aware he is a doll, but he just takes up a lot of my time. And whenever I'm out shopping, if I go past baby clothes, it's like, oh, Niko would look really cute in this. Or the other one at the moment is, oh, Suhi would look really cute in this. So they are the two that get spoiled clothing-wise and just with my attention that way. So let's get on to him now properly. His full name is Nikolaus Gray, and he is obviously called just Niko as a nickname. Nikolaos is a Greek name, and a lot of my baby boys that I've had have all ended up with Greek or Roman names. If you don't know, I am a historian. I did a degree in classics and history, and I'm really well versed in like ancient Roman history especially, so I really like those names. And although Nikolaos is Greek, I really like it. And Gray just really went with it. Like I said in another video, I don't put a lot of emphasis into my middle names. They just kind of names that I put with it. But I really do like the name Gray just on its own. So yeah, and Niko wears a lot of grey, so it kind of works. Like I said, or I think I said, he wears 0 to 3 month clothing. Sometimes he wears large newborn stuff. If it's a t-shirt, he will wear newborn. 0 to 3 is kind of big on him depending on which store I go to. And also if I shop at Pumpkin Patch, which I've been doing a lot of because unfortunately they're closing down, I just buy him newborn, and it fits him like a glove. So yeah. His fashion sense is mostly preppy hipster fashion. I like him wearing tops or outfits that have slogans on them, or just like really simple stuff. So what he's wearing right now is probably not what I normally would put him in, but I really like it. And you can't really see that he's wearing a top underneath, but he is. It's just a striped top. And his iconic item is Bailey's iconic item. Both of them have shared this hat when they have been bald. I just really love this hat, and he really suits it as well. And he still wears it even though he's got hair now. So I think it's more his hat now than Bailey's, because it was always too big on Bailey. And now that he's worn it, it's definitely too big on Bailey. So yeah. He also has a habit of wearing hats backwards. So he's got this little cap here. Off camera. That I got him, and it says great catch. And so he wears hats backwards all the time. He doesn't suit it forwards for some reason. His clothing style also is becoming more of a beach baby this summer. So a lot of items these days are talking about the beach. Like that one says great catch. A lot of his tops say things about the beach, or catch, or great catch, or stuff like that. He's got a recent outfit that I got him that says beach baby. And there's this really unnecessary needed item at the store that I really want to buy him. It's a little wetsuit kind of thing. I know it sounds silly because he can't go in water, but I want to take him to the beach in it, and it says hunk on duty. And it sticks with me because a couple of people on Instagram who absolutely adore Niko have always said this thing about, I can't remember if I said it or they said it, but about how he is the baby that you lock your daughters up from. So yeah, he's been labelled the hunk, or the handsome guy, and he kind of rolls with that. He's actually got quite a few clothing that says handsome on it, so you know, why not? Let's just shamefully put it out there for everything. But that's him in a nutshell. He wears a lot of clothes that explain who he is, or preppy clothes, because I really like that style on him. He also wears a lot of blues, greys and green. And I love him in knitted items, just as I loved Bailey. So definitely love him in a lot of knitted stuff over winter. Personality-wise, Niko is kind of like an unsure of himself baby. I kind of feel like he is a very hesitant baby. You know, he needs to think things through, or have me think things through. And I kind of feel like he is the ultimate mummy's boy. I always spend a lot of time with him, and I feel as though that if he was a real baby, he would be the kind of baby that would just stick to me like glue, and you know, just be very clingy, and just that type of baby that wants to be with mummy all the time. And I don't blame him, because I love him to death. As for siblings, I think he would love Sui the most, because he spends a lot of time with her. They're both open-eyed babies, so they pose well together. They both get lots of clothes all the time, so they end up wearing them, like posing in them. So that's why I've kind of just felt that they spend a lot of time together. And I also take the most naps with him. So lately I've become a nap person, a napping person. So yeah, I spend a lot of time napping with Niko. And he's the only baby that I've really put an emphasis into on taking photos and stuff with feeding with a bottle. I know a lot of people do videos with feeding their babies, and I felt uncomfortable to do that myself, but I actually find it really comforting with him. out of all my babies, just him is really comforting. So that's something that I do with him. As for what I love about Niko, I love his size. I love the fact that he's still very baby-like, but at the same time he can wear older kind of styles. And I love the fact that he's really chunky and long. Like, you can't even see him on camera. He's just super long. But I just really love this 0 to 3 month size, the 22-inch length. And I really, really love his legs as well. Not that you can see them on camera. Let's see if I can lift them both up. There we go. Yeah, I love those legs. I really love how chunky they are. And I love the one that hangs longer. I just think it's so cute. And I'm always playing with his feet, which is a bad habit when I'm holding him. I love the clothing options, like I just said as well. Dislikes. I don't really like his pointy finger. I had another baby that had a pointy finger, and I didn't really like it on her either. It's a finger that I have to take care of. I've had to repair it because I obviously didn't seal it correctly in the first time, and so paint came off of it. When you're dressing him, you have to be careful not to yank it over his hands. Well, you've got to be careful with reborns in general, but excuse me, that pointy finger does be a bit of a pain when you're dressing him in tops that are a little bit like snug. So yeah, that pointy finger. And I just dislike how much trouble he caused me in the beginning of making him. So yeah, but overall I absolutely love Niko. He's one of my favourites. He's one of everyone's favourites, it seems, lately. And I hope that you've enjoyed learning a little bit about him, a little bit about his backstory. I think he has more of a backstory than anyone else on the series so far. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you look forward to seeing the last 2 babies in the next 2 weeks. So the next one up is Cerulean. Bye guys.